Chapter 7 Nightmares in the Dark. After their battle at the shrine, they ventured onwards onto evening sunset to a secluded beach on the island that offered very favourable sites and natural strategic defences against any would-be accursed assailants that came upon them. The golden orange sun now was halfway over the horizon, and the time for setting up a camp was here. The Elden Lord looked towards the ground, wondering, looking intently as he kicked the sand with his feet. We should check for buried skeletons that might come out of the ground and slit our throats while we sleep. I will cast an incantation that will check for any impure life forms beneath us. Heinous nodded in agreement. Aye, would be a smart move. It would be nice if we could get a complete cycle of rest for once. That chapel prodded me in all the wrong places, he said with a laughter. The Elden Lord casted the incantation that radiated pure golden light into the ground and around for a good 100 meters, before something began to resonate a deep harrowing shriek. The ground was clear, but in a sudden moment, Heinous was attacked by a gigantic bird-like creature that used its talons to claw into his chest and arm, eventually picking him up into the sky and flying towards the sea. "Kill it, would you?" screamed Heinous as the majestic-looking creature shrieked in response. The Elden Lord knelt to the ground as the winged bird and Heinous were gathering distance. He summoned his great bow that could hurl large arrows of immense size and strength at long distances. And as Heinous shouted obscenities in the background, the Elden Lord aimed above the creature with great care and let loose an arrow enchanted with the arcane arts of the black flame. The arrow hurled through the sky, shrieking itself in the wind, before it pierced the oversized bird's skull. The creature and Heinous fell into the golden sea with very little evidence of survival to the Elden Lord's eye. A good 10 minutes had passed, and the Elden Lord waited for any signs of survival from his ally, and now friend. The sun at this point was 3/4 over the horizon, and the darkness began to creep over the regal isles. Eventually, with little doubt, Heinous emerged from the sea, clawing at the sand as he gasped for breath. Fatigued by his laborious struggle against the current, the creature had washed up ashore beside him. The Elden Lord stood and walked towards his exhausted friend, examining the creature he himself had just slain. The bird had the wingspan of 10 meters and was 12 meters long. Its body was muscular, with very little fat to be seen, and it had feathers of gold and brown, feathers that would be of rich writing quality to any merchant, or used to make fine quality wind-sailing arrows. The talons of the creature were gold and red, metallic somewhat in material, which was quite odd, but very hazardous should it have been in a more combat-ready mood. Heinous looked at the creature beside him as he still lay in sand, as the water rose to meet his feet before it gently flowed back out to the sea. By all my ancestors, that thing is huge. I wonder if we can eat it. It looks good to eat. The Elden Lord smiled under his helmet shortly before removing it. Good to eat? You yourself were nearly good eating only 1/4 of an hour ago. Still, it doesn't look foul in flesh or soul. It genuinely looks like something we could eat. I will get the beds and fire ready. Heinous rose in quick fashion in response to his words. No, Elden Lord. Allow me to ready the camp. You saved me from an excruciating death. It is the very least I can do. The Elden Lord nodded. Very well, but I will scout around, make sure we are safe, and then I shall butcher the creature. Its feathers will make good arrows. An hour had passed, and Haenus had made ready the camp, while the Elden Lord returned from scouting the perimeter of the shoreline. Everything was safe for a night of peaceful rest. Torrent began kicking in the sand before he lay on the white cool sand as he prepared for a great restful sleep. The Elden Lord began to butcher the creature, tearing feather from flesh, carefully in aim to preserve its value as a crafting material. Then he began to tear apart the flesh, rendering it from tendon and bone, as he placed all edible pieces of meat into a metal silver bowl that was given to him by Ranni. The bowl featured iconography of crescent stars and Ranni's favourite flowers. Over the course of the next few hours, the Elden Lord crafted numerous arrows to replace the ones he had used during his journey on the Regal Isles. He always preferred to use physical arrows over magical ones. Then at the end, he began to cook an extravagant meal, using herbs and ale to cook the flesh of the defeated creature into something most delicious. By the twinkling moonlight that had cast a ray of white gold upon the land, fighting for dominance against the fiery light of the campfire, the two dug into their meal while Torrent enjoyed a large wooden bowl of his favourite berries and oatmeal. By all the gods that we cannot see, this is delicious. Who knew that my travels would end up with a fine cook who is also an Elden Lord? Truly I am a blessed person. Haenus said, as he ravenously ate the chunky meat stew. The Elden Lord gave him a thumbs up, as he too was very devoted to enjoying his meal under the blanket of stars that reigned above even an Elden Lord. Wolves began to howl in the distance, but it was not those of the demonic form, but normal average wolves that seemed to be thankful that the accursed land was returning back to the fold of golden sunlight and twinkling stars. As they both wondered and pondered the universe as they stared above themselves to that blackened, twinkling void, they enjoyed ale after ale after ale, becoming rather tipsy as they enjoyed the reciting of the day and their triumphs against the evils that had plagued their islands. 2 hours later, Haenus is naked. The Elden Lord is shaking his head as Haenus runs around the beach feral in his desires to be one with nature. Haenus starts boasting about how glorious and strong he is, and how he cleaved 3 ghouls in 2, and how he dazzled the Reaper with his arrows before his great friend and ally the Elden Lord fell it. Haenus laughed as he streaked across the beach. The way you jumped on top of it and slew it with your sword, truly remarkable, he said, tumbling to the ground. He was quite drunk by this point. The Elden Lord laughed. Sir, you should put some clothes on to preserve your decency. There could be maidens about, and I would rather not have any nightmares about your bare naked body tonight. Oh, you think there are women here? Oh, that is a good idea. I should be dressed. You never know. My mother met my father while he was naked at the yearly clan festival. It was one of the times she thought him a fool. I should get dressed. Hiccup, he said, promptly clothing his body. The Elden Lord knew there was no maidens on the island. I mean, how could there be? The Regal Isles had been desolate and cursed for 1,000 years, and it was only by chance that Haenus was fortunate to meet the Elden Lord. It was very much required that he say anything to get him to put his dignity back upon his flesh, although, when the singing began, the very loud, obnoxious singing, the Elden Lord had a new nuisance upon him. An hour of arduous singing and dancing later, Haenus fell into sleep and began to cradle the gentle, cool, soft sands as his bed. The Elden Lord dragged him to his bed, while Haenus tried to brush him off in blissful dreams. The Elden Lord shook his head, looking as Haenus began to drool on his straw pillow, truly the sight of a happy man. The Elden Lord took a swig of ale, and he lay down into bed, looking upon the twilight above him with awe, before he fell into a sleep. Again, the usual dark essences flowing into the Elden Lord's dream state. A harrowing nightmare was about to take place that would surely wreck his soul with torment, as he watched painful emotions and memories splice into something that gave him a rotted heart. Millicent appeared before his eyes, beautiful but saddened. They were on top of a golden castle. The beauty of the Erd tree still blossomed in the background, as its ethereal golden light shone through the land. The Elden Lord sighed, bowing his head and lifting it up in gentle motion. Here we go again. Millicent, who watched him with subtle tears in her eyes. Something was different about her. She was more alive. She put her hand against his cheek, and he felt something new, the radiant warmth of a feeling that was felt only just a year ago. The Elden Lord held her hand fiercely, for there was surely some magic at play here. Is this real? Are you real? Why do I look upon your eyes so, and see such beauty and elegance reflected in their soulful gaze? Surely this is another nightmare born to plague my soul and my heart. Millicent nodded with gentle grace. Millicent nodded with a gentle, graceful smile, and she spoke. This is real, my love, but it is not my doing, she said with a choked up voice of pain and emotional distress, while tears flowed out of her eyes. The Elden Lord held her hands with such care and love, for he could never have held them before. This was a cherished moment. I don't understand. What do you mean? Millicent shrieked in pain as darkness began to leach into their shared dream. I am here, in this world of darkness, and there is something here with me, feeding off me, she said with spite and hatred as the tears drenched her face, and the world around them blackened. She continued, It wants you to rescue me. It wants you and me together. It is planning something most terrible, and I fear it has already begun. For why does it let me talk to you so? The Elden Lord, as he touched her face, as he heard those horrifying words spoken to him, saw a vision of her presence in the realm of the Dark Eternal. A sunken cathedral flooded with black water, and a broken roof that showed a towering dark tree of blackened foam in the distance, as the screams of thousands upon millions of souls echoed the realm above her, as she hung mid-air and naked, with her scarlet red hair shadowed by the tormenting horror that had held her prisoner. While her face was filled with the emotions of sorrow, grief, pain, sadness, spite, and hatred, the Elden Lord held her face with a graceful hand and spoke to her with rousing spirit and love. My dear sweet love, what will be, and I will meet you very soon. He kissed her forehead and stood up with emboldened spirit. Creature, I know you are listening. I am coming for the both of you, and I say this unto you, foul evil, that no matter how strong you are, no matter how devoid of purpose and feeling you are, I am coming for you, you wretched thing, and I will destroy you. I have no idea your intention or plan, but it does not matter to me, for a dead thing you will be. As he spoke those words, the connection was broken and the dream severed. Instead of harrowing laughter and evil envisioned upon the Elden Lord, he instead felt something completely new, if only just for a moment, from the evil being that had referred to itself as Harbinger. Fear. The Elden Lord awoke in the early morning from his dream, sweating, but somehow, still a comforting emotion of calm and hope came upon him, and he fell and he felt for the first time in a long while that the road ahead would become righteous. He had felt a great power bolster him. "Well, rise and shine, sleeping beauty," said Haenus, as he saw the Elden Lord awaken from his slumber. "You are up before me? How? You were knocked out drunk," shouted the Elden Lord in disbelief. "Oh, haha, trust me. When you have as many drinks that I have had in my lifetime, you get used to the hangovers. I am a warrior after all, and my code says that I must always be ready for the day ahead," said Haenus with glee, as he was very proud of the doctrines that governed him in life, hoping to one day enshrine himself as a great warrior to his clan across the sea. "Well, good," the Elden Lord said subtly, shaking his head as he took off his helmet. Sand flowed out from it like a broken hourglass, and he shook his hair. "Bad dreams again, sir?" said Haenus, looking to meet the Elden Lord's eye. The Elden Lord smiled. He was very courteous with such informal questions, for he did not give care for etiquette, for even although he was the Elden Lord, he was still at heart a tarnished. "You know, ever since for a long time, that is all I have ever had in this wretched place, and before in the lands between. But this time, this dream, gave me renewed hope in our journey, and I for the first time believe we are destined to slay great evil. The evils of this world should be very afraid, for we will not give them quarter." Haenus looked upon the Elden Lord with rising morale, but a little confused what would have struck the Elden Lord into such uplifting mood. "Right. Well, I like the enthusiasm, friend, but we still have a journey and a half to go, and with that, I will go for a bathe in the sea." Haenus removed his clothes. "Not again! Have ye not scorned my eyes enough?" shouted the Elden Lord, as Haenus walked into the sea, as it devoured his body into its early warming, but very cold embrace. The Elden Lord rose, cleaning the sand from his armour that was now rather sandy, and began to meet a hungry torrent, who stood watching, waiting for his devout master to mount him into battle once more. The Elden Lord filled his silverani bowl with berries, bits of oatmeal, and an apple that he only kept for Torrent as a special treat. "There you go, boy. I think this is the longest you have been summoned. How are you liking our journey so far?" he said as he stroked and patted the elderly beast of many years, pushing both heads together, signifying a bond of immense friendship and trust. As the next hour passed with furious labours, Haenus and the noble Elden Lord packed up their camp with diligence, as for the next time they would camp, it would be faster and more orderly done so. As they were about to finally leave, Haenus rushed towards both Elden Lord and Torrent. "Look what I have," he said, as he showed 3 large-sized fish hanging in struggle by a makeshift hook and rope. "Dinner for later. Didn't we gather salt from the sea by boiling water, so we could preserve the meat from the bird we fell? Should that not serve us for many days so?" said the Elden Lord, curious as to why he would spend the little time he had to rest, catching fish with struggle. "Hey, I like the fish. It is my pastime. Besides, I think if we eat that stuff all the time, no matter how good your cooking is, we will get sick of eating it. It would be best to have a break and eat some fish at dinner time instead." "I assume you make a good point. Shall we be off then, Sir Warrior Fisherman?" The Elden Lord said with a discreet snicker, feeling he made a rather good jest. "Ah, I see you like jokes too. What you say is rather true though, Sir Warrior Fisherman. I rather like the title. Mayhap they will write of his great deeds in the world. Assuming we live through this, most likely, perilous ordeal that awaits us. Haines smiled towards his friend, looking at his response as he had given a rather pessimistic review of the journey ahead. The Elden Lord's mind went back to the thoughts of the dream that he had just had, and how Millicent was waiting for him beyond this world, and how the road ahead would indeed be a laborious one that could have dire circumstances for even a tarnished who could not die. Yet, something still roused courage inside him. I hear you, sir, and what you say may be true, but at the end of the gilded sunset comes the darkness of night, and even in the darkness there is hope, for the stars above our heads lead us towards new lands and realms of great adventure, and even sometimes to the ones we love. Rightly so, Haines said with a graceful nod, as he, the Elden Lord, and Torrent began their early-day adventure to bind and capture the soul of a demon, one which awaited in a dark black collapsed cove only a few miles away. This would prove to be their most daring boss yet. Thank you for listening. I'll see you in the next chapter.